What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lola's World. It's your girl Lola, back with another video. But before we get into that video, I'm going to tell you guys that the giveaway is still running. To enter the contest, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, click the bell, follow all social media in the description, and comment your name below so that I know that you've entered the contest.
Is that
what was I going to say? You have to have your bell on so that you know, because I will be announcing the winners through a video. So please have your bell on so that you can get that video so you can know if you won or not. Without further ado, today we're going to be having a episode or video on relationship talk. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly. And today we have
Zan.
Hey, it's Emily.
okay. Okay, you guys, so today's video is going to be about the ups and downs of relationships. And to start off that conversation, we'll start with the honeymoon stage.
Oh gosh.
I feel like
Oh, gosh.
I feel like the honeymoon stage honestly is like the best stage, only because not the best. I'm not gonna say the best. It's one of like
It's like the dream light stage.
Yes,
Like you
that's where
feel
it's
like
like,
nothing could go wrong. Like everything is
everything's
perfect. Like
literally, and nothing's
everything
perfect, but
he
you
does
think that shit
is
perfect.
right. Like you don't see any wrong yet. It's just like you feel like
There's
you're on a
nothing
cloud.
wrong.
Yeah,
Like
and
you're just
one thing I feel like that's important about the honeymoon to also remember is, since it is the honeymoon stage, there's a lot of red flags that do happen that you just don't happen to notice at the time.
Right.
or you
so,
just
like,
ignore
wrapped
it
up.
because
Yeah.
you're so wrapped up in the
And you're just
honeymoon
like, that's
stage
not
of
that
feeling
serious.
good. Like
But you gotta pay attention. Like,
yeah, because if you don't pay attention and you ignore those red flags in the honeymoon stage, it's like once you get past that honeymoon stage, you're gonna be thinking like, yo, like
They did this
you
and
was
this
doing this.
Right.
Like
You
how
was
did we
doing
get
that
here? Like how did we get this
how
far?
did I
Like
forgive you? Like,
right, like. But also, I feel like there are some couples that don't really even leave the honeymoon stage. You know,
That's
some
very
some
true.
couples are lucky enough to have that their whole relationship. I mean, not saying that it's
Everlasting,
perfect. Like they might have disagreements and stuff during that, but I also feel like they still have that communication, which I feel like a lot of relationships lack because a lot of people don't communicate on the same level.
yes, that's very true.
Like I can communicate one way and my man can communicate a different, and now we're bumping heads because we're not seeing things eye to eye.
Yeah, you guys aren't understanding each other because you can't really. Because you guys, I've noticed too, like looking back on certain arguments that I may have had in the past, like we were kind of feeling the same way, but we were saying it so differently that it's just like we're not understanding what's going on. And also, like when you guys do communicate differently, I feel like you tend to like. You think you're communicating better, but you're necessarily not sometimes. Like,
Yeah, and then it causes a lot of friction because it's like you're not understanding me, I'm not understanding you. Like, and I feel like it's big. Like during that honeymoon stage, instead of getting wrapped up though, and the feelings is better when you like get to know each other and talk, like get to learn each other, so that
Yes.
you guys can
Pillow talk.
yeah, like you guys can communicate properly. Because if you know somebody, then you know how to talk to them.
Right.
Like you know what pisses them off, you know what makes them happy, you know what makes them smile, you know what makes them sad. So it's like I feel like the honeymoon stage takes that out for a lot of people because you're so wrapped up and it feels good for this moment that you don't really even get to know the person that you're in that
Yeah.
honeymoon stage with.
you're not looking like at the bigger picture. You're just so wrapped up into like what's going on right there. Because like in the honeymoon stage, you feel everything. Like, you know, this is someone new, and I always say this, like something new is always exciting for me. So
True, like everything
meet
feels
somebody,
better.
yeah,
like the
like,
kisses give you
everything,
butterflies.
you're like, oh my god, he's about to come pick me up. I'm
right.
nervous.
Like you get nervous.
Yeah.
The sex is better.
Yes,
like,
you
it's
think,
like
you know,
The sex.
oh my god,
definitely
sex.
gets better.
One thing that's one thing I didn't pay. A lot of people hold on to the relationships when it should end because of sex.
Yo.
That's just a thing I want to point out. But
that is
That's
true
some-
though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Because
because
it
the
can
sex
be
gives
a
you so much.
horrible relationship. Like it
But
could
once
be.
you have fun,
It could be horrible.
Dude.
And then just because the sex is good, it's like, you know what? Maybe I can stick around a little,
That is.
a little bit longer.
We can work on
Like,
this.
We can work on this.
like, let's see
No,
what we can do.
I don't know if I'm ready to give that to somebody else yet.
That ass.
No,
Like,
for
nah,
real.
it's honestly on some real like territorial type of shit.
Yeah, like,
and
nah,
you
you're
don't
not about to
realize
be giving
it.
no girl this.
Yeah, hell nah.
Like, we can work this out. Like.
For real.
But
Like,
then also, after the honeymoon stage, I feel like honestly the honeymoon stage is the biggest part because if you build correctly, once you get out of that honeymoon stage, it's like your relationship goes smoothly. A lot of people get caught up in the honeymoon stage, and then when they're out of that honeymoon stage, it's like everything is rocky. Like
yeah.
you're bumping heads, or you're not as happy as you was, and then you're thinking like, damn, why don't I feel the same way that I felt here? Like what went wrong? And a lot of times nothing really went wrong. It's just that it was that way that whole time because it was something new. You was just caught in the
It's
moment.
literally like a high, and you come down from a high at some point.
True.
And when you start coming down, it's like
You realize like,
that
what is this like?
it's more raw to you because you're just like, oh shit, like you're realizing more things about the person that you may have not seen before. You may like be bothered by certain things that they do. You realize like that they did, type shit.
True, like, or you might start noticing things that are red flags, which is when you like you feel special during that honeymoon stage, and then some people are lucky enough to get somebody who makes them feel special their whole life. But a lot of the times, a lot of us have relationships, and after that honeymoon stage, it's like we're heartbroken because we realize we weren't the only one in that honeymoon stage with that person.
Right. Oh wow. You just rap with some shit. Like that kind of hit me the type of way.
Like, and that happens a lot of the times. You're in a honeymoon stage with him, and he's in a honeymoon stage with somebody else, and it's like you not realizing because whatever he's doing with you when it's your time, it's like, oh, this feels good. But then also like when he's not with you, he's with her, and it's her time, and she feel that same way, and then it causes a lot of friction because now girls want to fight each other because it's like you with my man and you with my man, but it's like it's not really y'all, it's him because he was the one in between y'all.
Right.
He connected y'all, so it's like.
I still to this day hate some girls. Like,
I mean,
and it's sad how you feel that way over like a man.
It's
Right.
true. I just honestly feel like people grow out of that on their own. Not to say that girls don't cheat, because believe me,
Right.
girls do
cheat.
their share of dirt. Let me not be biased on here, but
They're dirty.
I can only give my experience from what I experienced with guys. I can't really give my experience on girls too much because I never really experienced that. But I feel like there are different stages to cheating, like different levels. Like for a girl, I feel like we go through different stages. The first time it's like an insecurity, like we're constantly doubting ourselves. It might not be like that for all girls, but for a majority of girls, I feel like it's the same. Like you want to change things about yourself. You might even start having like images of what they did. Like, did he do this position with her? Did he touch her like this? Like, is he straightforward? Do I have to worry about like if he used protection with her? Like if he likes it more with her than he does with me, is he doing this with her because I'm not good?
Right.
You know,
You
or like
feeling really insecure about
does
yourself.
he have a good vibe with her? Like, are they
I wonder
vibing
what
better?
their
Like how did we get here?
Right, because it's like I'm
Yeah.
thinking you and I have a real strong connection and we're real tied in, but then you go off and do something else that you was doing with me with another person. It's kind of like it hurts because not only are you cheating, you are giving a part of yourself that I thought was intimate between both of us to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes into so much more. It's not just like it is definitely intimacy, but it's also like the talking, the like hanging out, like that quality
Did you
time.
take her on dates?
That
Did
quality
she
time.
meet your family too? Like, do you feel the same way about her that you feel about me? And then, when, guys are like, nah, she was nothing. It was just this, it was just that. But it's like, how did we get here then? Where was I when you was with her? What was I doing? Why didn't I call you?
Yes.
Why wasn't I with
like
you?
how come I wasn't like present?
how was I oblivious to this? Like, how did I not know that you were at somebody else's
oh my
house?
God.
You want to cry?
Yeah, like you're speaking some facts because it's like, damn, like I really sit here and think about shit like this.
Yeah,
like,
because
it's like you doubt yourself. Like, and there are better times because my first time I doubted myself so bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I changed so much about myself. I was constantly like, anytime that he wanted to like touch me or hold me or hug me, it was like I would get like visual images of him doing the same thing with her, and then it would make me really sad because it's like, yo, like, were you touching her like this? Were you rubbing her like this? Like, did you cook her the same meals that you cooked me?
Ooh.
Like,
and that's what
and
makes
it could
me
be a
hate
girl,
a female
it could
because
be a
of that
girl.
reason.
True, but it could be a girl that probably is nothing like you. You could be
That's what's sad.
better than her in a way, and sometimes people don't think about the actions or think about how it will affect you and them moving forward. And then when I first experienced, I had a lot of fights. I hated a lot of girls. It's like I always wanted to fight the girl,
Right.
and I had to realize it's really not even the girl. It's
It's
because the girl owes no loyalty to you. You're like, my man will to you. You
And
didn't
like,
come to him. Like,
your man
he-
is allowing someone to be that.
yeah,
close
like
to
he
him
opened the
to-
door for you. He let you in. He did whatever. He's my man. He could have chose to say to himself, nah, I don't want to do this to my girl. He went through with it, and that's somebody who's supposed to be for you, dedicated to you, in a partnership with you.
Right.
They know you. That girl does not know you, and it took me a while to actually realize that. Like, I went from wanting to fight girls to like, you know what? The next stage, which is what I'm like, the next stage is like when you're getting cheated on and you're leveling up. So now it's like, because you feel better about yourself, it's like that cheat doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's like, you know what, I'm a boss. Like, I can leave. I don't need you. I got money. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like, you start feeling yourself.
You need to remind
learning
yourself.
your worth.
That's one of the best stages because you're so like hurt about what happened that you can't think about nothing else. I'm just saying, you keep comparing yourself, you keep down yourself. Once you get out of that stage, sometimes it's like I call it like a fuck you stage, because that's on the type of, you're like, fuck that person. You know what I'm saying? It's about you, and you got to think like, there's a reason why that person fucked with you the way they did, because you brought something to the table and you still got that, and probably even more qualities at this point because you're older, you're better, you learn more things. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you always got to remember, you bring something to the table always. Don't ever think about it as like, this person is like only benefiting me, like we need to benefit each other. You know what I'm saying? You're always bringing something to the table. You have something in you that it's like no one should ever feel that way, and that's what I hate about cheating, because people make other people really
depressed
and
anxious,
like not hate themselves, and be like, damn, like why am I
very
not
insecure.
good enough?
Yeah,
and the feeling of not being good enough,
like
it'll
betrayal.
break you.
It's the betrayal.
It will break you completely as a person.
Yep.
It will make you so consumed with the thought of not being good enough that it will hold you back from actually being your full potential that you can be. And I feel like it gets better. Like, it's gonna get better. You're not gonna always, it's gonna always hurt. Like, anytime it happens, it's gonna hurt. Don't get me wrong. But you're not gonna always have the exact same reaction. Like, your first time, you might want to fight all the time. Your second time, you might be like, you know what, I'm tired of this at this point. Like, I don't have to deal with this. And then your third time is just like you're so accustomed to it now, and having whatever experiences. And don't get me wrong, because y'all probably like, well, why didn't y'all just leave this person? I'm not talking about the same person every time, because anybody can cheat. Like, anybody can cheat. You can get in a relationship with somebody and they cheat and make you feel like everything, and then you can get in a relationship with somebody who still cheats and make you feel like trash. I'm speaking from different experiences, and then at some point you might say to yourself, like, damn, like, is it me? Like, am I the reason people keep cheating? Because this is not the same relationship. It's a different relationship. Like, is it something I'm doing? But then you start to realize, like, it's just what a person chooses to do. Like, you can't be
change that person.
You can't be accountable for their decisions.
Someone else's like action. Something that I had to learn on my own that was
temptation
very hard.
is a hard thing.
It's a thing. Like, I'm telling you, like, not to justify cheating, but because I've been cheated on and it hurts and it sucks. But like, especially at this age, this generation, we're so young. Like, it's hard since, like, some people are not strong enough to fight that temptation. But what I wanted to say originally was that something I learned was, and it was really hard for me to learn, but you should never, speaking up from like a woman's point of view, you should never like base your self-worth on a man, like, ever, or a significant other, period.
Base your worth on yourself. Love yourself, because if you love yourself, then somebody else will love you for you. You don't have to adjust who you are for somebody to love you, because then when you adjust who you are for somebody to love you, they're not loving you. They're loving the person that you're pretending to be. What you're creating for them to see. Like, if you can't be yourself and somebody genuinely loves you, like, if you have to walk on eggshells, if you have to constantly doubt yourself, it just, cut your losses. Like, for example, I will give y'all an actual example. There's gonna be some story time, some tea. I'm gonna talk about my very first time. I'm gonna talk about my first 2 times ever being cheated on, 2 different people. So my first time that I ever got cheated on, I was like 16, whatever. At the time, I was dating somebody who was a little older. I might have been 15, 16. He was like 18, 19, whatever. And this was somebody who I lost my relationship. So it was like,
he was like a special one, huh?
It was kind of special, but it was like, I was still young, so I didn't really know the severity of it. But like the first time, I feel like it was a regular day, this was a type of relationship where it was like you saw your man every day after school. Like, this was back then, like where y'all would walk home from school, or he would pick you up, or y'all would hang out for a couple minutes after before you have to be home. Like, it was like one of those type of relationships. And this day in particular, it was a little different because I was supposed to go to his house, whatever. He was like, yo, come check me when you get out of school, whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'm gonna come check you, whatever. So I get out of school, my mom asks me to pick up my sister. So I have my sister, and I'm telling him, like, yeah, I just got out of school, I'm finna come in a little bit. So he hit me with actually, don't come today because I'm not home. I'm at my cousin's house, we're playing a game right now. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna come because I got my little sister anyway. So I'm like, you're right, I'm gonna just go home, whatever. But for some strange reason, at the time, I really didn't know what it was. I had the strangest like feeling to just go down his block, like walk down his block. And his mom had a family house at the time, so it wasn't like it was no apartment buildings. I had to tell him to like come downstairs or nothing. It was like, little 2-story home. And I'm walking down his block, whatever, and I'm calling him, and I'm like, yo, I sent something to your house for you. See if somebody could look out the window and see what's there. So I sent that to him or whatever, and he looks out the window. Mind you, his window's in the front, whatever. But when he pulls back the curtain, y'all, it's him and the girl ass naked in doggy style position still when he pulls back the curtain. So
What?
now I'm like,
What?
I go through a rage stage at this point. Like, you know, this is my first experience. I don't know what I'm feeling. Like, my throat is hot, my chest is hot, my face is hot. Like, I'm like, all right. So now I'm throwing rocks at his window because it's like, y'all gonna come downstairs. Like, what?
Yeah, y'all
like,
not
what is this?
finishing.
Like, I feel like what stopped me then was I was with my little sister. I feel like, nah, you know what? I'm not gonna do this to her. He was on some. I was still on the phone with him. He was like, yo, just go home. You know, don't do this. And I'm like, you know what? All right. At that time, it wasn't really. Relationships weren't serious to me, so I was on some and didn't answer his phone for like 3 months, 2 months on some I'm good on you.
Good, you like really like cut him off like that?
I mean, I cut him off. We started back talking, whatever. But I officially cut him off because then he did it again, but it was with my then best friend at the time.
I can't. So that was just like a double like.
Yeah, it was like you gotta go. Like, bye bye.
Best friend at that.
Because
You
how
cut this
my
best
best
friend
friend
off?
even get to your house?
Right.
I would have fucked his best friend.
Yo.
Revenge.
I would have been on some shit.
I feel like revenging is the best revenge is to leave
To
because
leave,
they'll
if
miss
not-
you.
You're true.
They
It's
will-
true.
If
It's
do
always
not,
true.
yes, because if you do, oh my gosh, so, unless that's what you really truly be honest with yourself, like really want to do, then go ahead by all means. It's your body, do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, do not never like try to don't disrespect yourself. Like, and I've had stuff in the past where I've been just like disrespecting myself, and I like do something because out of spite, because I want to hurt this other person, even if I don't even know if they're gonna find out or not. But I know I'm doing it, so I feel good about it. But then you don't really feel that great after. Like,
It's like
yeah,
I
damn,
could've
just
went
did
without
that.
this.
Yeah, like I could have.
and I can't take it back now. So it's like
That's a fact. You, like, just move wisely. Like, just make sure.
make
you-
smart decisions. Think
Yes.
them through.
Don't
Getting
do
even
spiteful
doesn't mean
shit.
you have to do the same thing. It doesn't have to be tit for tat. You can
It
just be
don't.
on some. You know what? I don't have to deal with this. Somebody's gonna love me.
Honestly, like, yeah,
You could
disappearing
just-
hurts. Like, even though they're
It
doing
does.
shady shit and you may think they
It'll
don't give a
hurt.
fuck about you because they're
They'll
doing
miss
that,
you.
they'll miss
You
you.
have to because
You have to show that person you also know your self worth. I feel like that's another
Yeah.
good thing too, because they're gonna be like, oh shit, she's serious. She's not.
yeah, you
Don't
have to show them that you're
Yeah,
serious.
and some people don't change. Like, unfortunately, like you know, so some people do not change. But at least you know you did the smart thing by like trying to like be like showing him like you're not about to play with me like that. Like,
True.
Don't let nobody play with you.
Don't. I mean, I feel like
I've been
there are
played.
so many different things I could have did as a teenager that I wish I could go back knowing what I know now.
Mhm.
Like, you know what, I should have did this different. Like, I could have just did this. But, you know, everything is a lesson learned in life. You learn. You make mistakes, you learn.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is a stepping stone. It's just however you take, you choose to perceive it.
Right.
But the second time that happened to me, the second time, I was like maybe like a little bit older, maybe like 18 around this time. I'm not gonna front. I was dealing with a little thotty. I was in a honeymoon stage, so I would like I saw past the thotty stage. I'm like, you know what? He could be different for me.
For me.
No,
No,
like
can't make a home into a housewife.
right. So how this happened was, you know, we were dating for a while. I think we may have just hit our year mark, right? A little
Oh, shit,
after our
really?
year. And you know, when I'm not saying everybody does this, but for me, like when I'm with somebody, I pay a lot of attention to them, even if they don't realize it.
Mhm.
Just because you know you may feel like, oh, you don't pay me any mind, doesn't mean that I don't know the person that I'm with. Like I pay a lot of attention to the person I'm with, and I feel like I feel like I'm in tune with that person. So if you start moving funny or doing things differently,
You
I'm
feel
going
that.
to notice it because it's like this is not your usual. You get what I mean? So one day I just so happened to realize, like, you know, something felt off. Like it was a little weird for us. Something was weird. Something was out of place or whatever. And I couldn't put my finger on it, so I kept like poking at it. And eventually, like, this person who I was dating at the time, like, even though we had just hit that year mark, was on some, you know what, let's take a little break. Right. Like, let's take a little break. So
Right.
back at the time, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the type of person to take breaks. It's either we breaking up or
like we in it or
we
we
gonna
not.
figure out whatever. So I'll admit, I bent a little. I'm like, all right, we'll do a break or whatever. And it wasn't even like a break. It was also like, let's take a few days for each other because we see each other every day. We was practically living with each other at the time. And so I ended up taking a little family trip upstate to see my family or whatever. And it instantly got weirder. Like once I hit upstate, there was like no answering the phone calls, no text. Like everything was just like weird. Like he wasn't answering anything. And the one call that he did answer was like really off. So I'm like, all right, you know, I didn't put much joy into it. I enjoyed my time. And I came back a few days later or whatever. When I came back, I went to his house. He wasn't home at the time. His sister let me in. And when he came home, I was like in his room waiting for him or whatever. We were talking, but it still just felt off, you know. So I felt like, you know, we missed each other. We did whatever we did, you know, we did our thing. And like after we did whatever, it just felt like there was some type of issue with what we had done or whatever. So we were talking whatever, and he was just basically telling me like how one of his exes that live in the area, like they were talking a little bit over the weekend. Like he had told us like he wants to take a break, and they were talking and etc. And he just felt like a little weird because he was hanging out with her all weekend, and then he was hanging out with me. So I'm like, all right, you know, I went to go see my cousin who lived in the area, whatever. He was like, he was gonna go play ball. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Mind you, he told me he was gonna go play ball, and he's texting me like every 5 minutes, like, what you doing, what you doing, what you doing. So I'm like, the same thing I was doing 5 minutes ago. Here's where it gets crazy, because it's like my aunt comes and she's like, well, and I would have never thought of this if she didn't say anything. Till this day, I probably would have never even knew.
Right.
She was on some, well, did you ever think that maybe he's asking you what you're doing so you don't catch him doing what he's doing? And I'm just like, no, I never thought of that. And she's like, well, where is he? So I'm like, oh, you know, he's up the block playing ball. So she's like, yeah, I mean, you know, if he want to know what you're doing, why don't you just go see him? He'll have to text you every 5 minutes. So I'm like, you're right. Like, so I get there. I'm up the block or whatever. I get there, and everybody's getting out because of the gym that they play ball at is about to close. So I'm waiting outside. Everybody comes out. His friends come out, but he doesn't come out. So automatically, I'm like looking behind them. And I'm like, all right, where he at? Whatever. So his friend comes up to me, and he's like, oh, what you doing here? Such and such is not here.
Oh.
And automatically I'm on some, what you mean he's not here? Like, he better be here because he told me he was coming here.
Right.
So he was on something, you know what? I think you should call him. Like, and then he just like walks off, whatever. So now I'm calling him. He's not answering my calls, but he's texting me. Red flag.
That's a red flag.
If they're not,
If they can't answer your phone calls, but they
you?
can text you, that's a red flag.
That's a big red flag.
Yes.
Right
Because
there.
how is it? It takes more time to text than it does to just pick up your phone. Like, yo, I can't talk right now. Anything. So if you can take time out to text whatever you have to text, you can answer your phone like, yo, I can't talk right now, or what's good. Like that text when you're calling somebody, that's a red flag. Always pay attention to that because that's a
unless
major
you
red flag.
definitely know they're doing something that they really cannot answer the phone.
Yeah, like
But
unless,
like you'll know you'll feel it. You'll know when it's weird. You'll know when like you'll feel that shit.
so now I'm tight. So I'm like, yo, why you texting me? And I'm calling you. Because if you're taking the time out to text me, you could answer your phone. He was like, oh, I'm on the phone with my mom. Just go to my house. I just told her I told you coming up. So I'm like, all right. I get there. He never comes up. The kicker is the building that he lives in, the girl that he was with lives 2 buildings down.
Oh my god.
2.
And you were
2.
there.
So
Close.
now I'm like, okay, I'm at his mom's house. Mad time goes by. He doesn't come. So now I'm on Facebook, whatever, and there's this girl that I know that he dated that lives in these buildings with him, and I'm like watching as she posts, and she makes a status like, oh, no, his cousin makes a status. So cause I called him, and I'm like, yo, what you doing, whatever? And he was like, oh, I came to see my cousin. So his cousin makes a status, and he's like, oh, teaching my little cousin how to dance, whatever. At the time, I was dating like a flexor. So anybody that knows flexors, you know that flexors dance, like they dance. So it's like, how you teaching somebody who dances how to dance, but you don't know how to dance.
Right.
So now that automatically made me feel like, all right, something funny.
That story
is
is already all over the place.
Like
Like him saying that, I'm like, oh
so now, a girl makes a status, or whatever. A girl that lives in the same area as him, few houses down, whatever. She makes a status, and it was on some, oh, laid up watching movies with my boy. He fell asleep on me. It's so cute. So that same
my
cousin commented on that status and was like, LOLs, oh hey, such and such. And she was like, oh hey, what you doing? And he was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing, laid up with my boy, LOLs. Right? So now I'm like, all right, y'all playing with me.
Right.
Like, you're playing in my face. Like, I see you playing with me. So now,
that was just
I
corny.
knew the building that the person lived in, but I didn't know what floor. So now I'm like, I go, mind you, this whole time I'm signed into said ex's Facebook.
oh.
So now nobody can reach him because his phone is broke. So it was a perfect time to be like signed into his stuff. Like, his phone's not working. He can't check anything until he get home. So it's like, all right. So now I'm walking to the building, and I'm like to the cousin, I'm like, oh, if he's with you, can you tell him to call me? So the cousin is like, oh, I'm on the phone with my wife. I'm like, all right, tell him to call me from your house phone. So now the cousin writes him like, yo, you gotta hit up your girl because she on some tell you to call her from my phone. I told her I was on the phone with my wife, and she like tell you to call from my house phone. I don't know what to tell her. So I think like, you know, you should or whatever. So no response. And he's writing like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I told you, if you was gonna mess with think it through, because you had a girl, now I can't get in contact with you. Mind you, now I have confirmation.
Damn, why is he manipulating you like that? Like, damn.
Huh?
He's just manipulating you, like.
Just
like,
no, he wasn't talking to me, though. He thought he was writing my ex,
Yes.
because I was signing to my ex's Facebook.
Yeah.
So now I have confirmation that the girl is who I thought she was, because you said her name.
Right.
So now I'm writing the cousin, and I'm like, yo, just tell him come downstairs. I'm outside the building. So now he's panicking. He's writing this ex like, yo, she said she downstairs. Come downstairs. I don't want no parts. Like, I don't know. I told you don't do this. Like, whatever. So
What?
he still never writes back. His phone's broke. I feel like the only reason, I feel like it was probably God. Like, the only reason I went back in the house is because I was living in somewhat of, like, I'm not gonna say somewhat, it was the hood. And they started shooting because it was the P's.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know
shit.
what, let me go back upstairs.
Right, you're not fucking this bullshit.
Long story short, this ex ended up coming home at 3 in the morning. And
You were still in his house?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there waiting for him in the dark, like the typical crazy chick. And he's like, why are you sitting in the dark? This is creepy as hell. And I was really seriously contemplating if I wanted to kill him or not, which is why I was sitting in the dark.
Right?
And I'm just like, you know what? I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
Like, just tell me,
guys.
like, tell me what this is. Like, tell me, like, what, like, what's going on? Because I'm not about to do this. And then, you know, he just came through, like, yo, yeah, I slept with such and such. I was at her house just now, you know, and it's just like, I could break up, whatever. And then from there, even though I had whatever reactions immediately after, like, I feel like I started doubting myself, and like I started changing my hair up, like I started wearing weaves, and I started dressing different, and I'm like, all right, maybe if I dress like this, or if I look like this, or if I put this on, or if I'm into this, or if I do this, or if I learn this, you know, he won't feel like he needs anybody else. But realistically, it's really not.
You're not the issue.
Yeah, it's not the issue. Sometimes people just always need more, want more. Some people
some people
can't
never
just eat
sex,
one
though.
slice of cake.
Yeah, for me, a lot of people want to have their cake and eat it too. And like, I can admit, I've never like cheated on anybody, but I have had like moments in, like, you know, when I was a teenager, especially when I've like not played people, but like played with people some time. You know, I would like, you know, want to be talking to this dude and he want to take me serious, but I'm like talking to all these other dudes. You know, and it's just like a lot of people. You know, it happens, but some people don't ever go out of that either. Sometimes
That is true.
Like,
And then you may be lucky enough to get in a relationship where that person doesn't cheat, or maybe they cheat, they make you feel really good outside of it, and it's just that one thing that you can't take away, like, all right. And then, you know, maybe it's, you might get into a relationship with somebody who slips up, and it's like, you know, how do you deal about it, like, how do you go about dealing with it now? Like, do you do the same things? And then, like, at that point in your life, you probably just like, you know what, you've been through it so much, like, it don't even hold like the same type of value. But I mean, it still hurts the same. It's just like, it doesn't hold the same reactions. Like, you might have your little doubts here and there, but it doesn't take you back once you know your worth and who you are. And then you start seeing relationships different and aspects different. And I'm not saying that you have to be with somebody who's cheating, you know, and you might not even be with a cheater. You might be with somebody who's extremely abusive, which
and
is
it's not
way
just
worse.
physically, because mental abuse is very, very real.
And it will break you down. Somebody can tell you, like, you ain't shit, you ain't never gonna be shit, nobody ain't gonna love you, and you might believe that because you love them. And that'll break you down as a person. You might not know it right then and there, but slowly you'll start feeling, you'll hear that in the back of your head, like, yo, nobody's never gonna love me like this nigga love me, like, I can't leave him.
He must love me this way.
Yeah, like, he must be the one for me, like, he must love me
Right.
the way that I'm supposed to be loved.
Right.
Yeah. And like sometimes, you really don't realize it either, like soon after. Sometimes it may take another person for them to truly really love you, and then you're like, holy shit, this last person I was with really didn't love me the way I thought. You know, sometimes you really, I feel like if you don't know how you deserve to be loved, you accept any type of love.
Yeah,
true. If you don't know yourself and what you're worth and what you deserve and what you don't deserve, then you'll accept anything.
And like a lot of people afterwards, I feel like feel stupid and feel like dumb and stuff. And like I felt that way many times, but it's not that I was either stupid or dumb. It was more just like I didn't realize it. I just didn't know how, like, I didn't realize my self-worth, and I didn't realize I was worth more than that. I should have never let someone do that to me and then accepted it and then just let it, you know, happen. Like,
and then you'll know when you know your worth, because you won't doubt yourself. You won't have insecurities. You won't see somebody call him at 2 a.m. and be thinking to yourself, like, who the fuck is calling you? Like, you'll just turn over and go back to sleep. Like, nigga, I know I'm the shit. I'll leave you tomorrow.
right. You want to play them games?
You play and let me find out.
Right.
Like,
please.
good for you. Like, when you feel like you don't have to worry about it, that's how you know you've grown. Like, you've manifested to where you need to be, and you know your worth and you know your value, and Like,
And don't
at this point, I'm whole married. I do not even look through my nigga phone. It's just like, you go ahead and let somebody call you at 2 a.m. if you want to. You go ahead.
Right.
She's not you.
True. Like, and she better hope I don't answer because
Right.
It's gonna be a
at 2
problem.
a.m. It's bedtime. Kids and husband in bed. Like,
It's bedtime.
Like when I go to bed, it's time for everybody
it's
to
shut down.
Like everybody's already asleep when
It's
I go to
shut
bed.
down.
Like, nah, for real, it's
True.
shut down. Everything's shut down.
2 a.m. might
Closed.
be dragging it because I shut down house at like 9:30. Kids be in bed. Get quiet.
Right.
Get quiet.
It's closed. Everything's closed. So don't be disturbing my shit.
Right.
Swear.
Like, hello, who is this? Y'all saw
Right.
that video? Like, oh, you called him because you missed him? Well, don't call his phone after 10 p.m. Cool. Like, y'all never see that video? I'm gonna have to look for it. I'm gonna see if I can find it and put it in this. She called the girl back, like, hello? This is his cousin. Who is this? Because you keep blowing his phone up and he's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, this is his girlfriend? Oh, well, did somebody die? Oh, you missed him. Yeah, well, I miss him too, and it's after 10 o'clock. So call his phone. No, this is his baby mother. Like,
No.
I'm just like, yo.
Swear. Everything's closed. Don't be calling my phone.
Right.
It's my phone.
This will be his phone at 7 in the morning.
Right,
Wake up.
right. Go to bed. Why you calling? Go to bed.
Right, why you up?
Right. Why are you up right now?
Y'all got some type of appointment tomorrow I should know about?
Right.
Huh? He
Like,
coming to check you? You trying to see if he's still coming? You fresh
trying to
down
see if
there?
he's still coming?
If you still coming.
You fresh down there? Oh, he not coming.
Oh, yeah.
Let me let you know. You
Sure.
done messed this up.
Yeah.
I should have called tomorrow.
Yeah. He
Yo.
done messed this
Nah,
up.
you
Because now he
messed
really
up.
ain't showing up.
Nah, he really ain't coming.
Party's over.
I wish he would have woke up this door tomorrow. But how do you guys feel like you dealt with it?
It's definitely a struggle. I mean, oh, I'm. Let me start by saying that if you love this person and you really feel it genuinely deep down inside that you want to be with them forever and ever, and they do something wrong to you, like, it's like I'm gonna do everything I have to do in order to keep that bond. You know what I'm saying? But like I haven't been in many relationships. I've only had my one, like my one real one that's been so long. So I don't really know too much about relationships. I just have mine. But going through this and like the obstacles that we've gone through and like the girls and, you know, cheating and stuff like that, like you said, it doesn't hold as much value to me anymore. I still have that anxiety, but I feel like now since we've gone through that, there's a lot more trust. So I'm not gonna say everything's terrible. Like I didn't want. Listen, we took our time apart. Like I didn't want to be with him. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want nothing to do with him when I found out like that he cheated on me. You know.
And also, you might have somebody who might just do it to you one time.
Right.
Sometimes a cheat is not a bad thing because have
Right.
you ever been in a relationship and like someone like if either it's you or it's them, one of the people cheat and it's like it feels like it made your relationship better. Like
Yeah.
it brought y'all closer, communication is better, y'all talking more, y'all cuffing more. It feels like more. I don't
It's
know
something
the
It
word.
feels
different.
like the honeymoon stage all over again.
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
different
like
because you know
everything
each other.
feels like
It's
way
stronger,
better.
like solid,
Like-
there's a foundation.
It's like you've gotten through an obstacle course and it's like the satisfaction like we got
Yeah.
through this.
Yeah.
Yes,
But it
yes.
like
Yep.
some of them, some of the times, you know, it may even make your relationship better. Like it may make it 100 times better than what it was before. So you know, sometimes a cheat might not be if it's one, not if it's continuous leaving or
Right.
her
If
or
it's-
her. If it's like once and you can vouch that it's only been like once or twice, that's fine. Like it might be okay. Like you might
It
just yeah, like it might be you might get past that. But like in some instances, you know, when it's not continuous, it does feel like it enhanced the relationship. Like it feels like it gave the relationship something it was missing.
And it's not justifying
Yeah.
cheating.
That's-
Yeah,
But
not just fine cheating.
it's just
You don't have to take that shit.
Yeah,
you don't have to do
yeah,
it.
you
No,
don't-
no.
you
can't handle it.
absolutely more to you. Like you know, it's hard to. Even though, like, if you really care and like love somebody, I feel like it's so hard. Even though they disrespected you and really hurt you in a way that like you've never been hurt before, that love that you have for them really holds you. It's just like, I don't know. Some people are strong enough to walk away, some others aren't. Like,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's also like depends on your relationship. I feel like some people, like you said, it might be just this one time thing that somebody slipped up, something happened
Right.
that somebody was unhappy, somebody wanted some attention, something happened. You know, there's a reason for why people cheat. There's always a reason, and it could be a selfish reason, or it could be just, you know, you just never know. But I feel like definitely if it happens like one time, it can definitely enhance your relationship, because I feel like you guys know each other more now, and it's not only that you guys went through the cheating, but it's like you guys went through something so hard. You guys know, like, we're not gonna play with each other no more. Like, you know, we're gonna like really be serious about what we got going on, and we're really gonna work on it and like try to like grow and like progress.
True. Also, if you do get past it, always keep in mind that if it happens once, it can happen again. Doesn't mean you have to cut off all ties. If you're the type of person that believes in second chances, by all means, go for it. If you're the type of person that feel like, you know what, nope, I can't do it because I'm not going to be able to get past it, do not drag the relationship out. Just tell that person, like, yo, I can't do this with you. Like, there is always something better. You know, for all you know, you'll leave this person and find the woman or the man of your dreams.
Right. It's amazing. Like, you never know. Don't ever, I feel like people get a little too comfortable, and they feel like,
and that's why a lot of relationships are as long as they are. You're not really still in love, and you're not really
so, like,
still you're just so comfortable with what that person offers and how that person touches you and talks to you, and they know your moods and they know what you like. So it's like you don't want to start that over. And sometimes it is okay to start over. Like, you don't have to stay in something that's toxic because you don't want to start over. Sometimes that start over might be what you need.
Also something that I also want to point out too, I feel like many people also may not like realize, or just in denial about this feeling, but even when you're so tired of a person and like you're like how you said, you can't accept it, I can't accept that you did this to me, I can't get over it, we're just not going to be able to move on from this. I feel like some people still like don't want anyone else to have that, so I feel like some people hold on to that because you're just like, no, this is still like my person. At the end of the day, I feel like people just hold on way too much on to just like years and like whatever the past had been over. But like, you can move on and be a million times happier. Don't be selfish and like try to keep someone there just because you don't want anyone else to have it, because you're hurting yourself. Like, you're really hurting yourself because you clearly cannot grow with this person, but you just don't want them out of your life. That's just hurting you, and then because you're probably always fighting, you're probably just going back and forth, you're probably always just unhappy. Like, you guys cannot do it, and it's just like,
at that point you need to grow yourself.
Yes, you need to be mature about it and really like move on, let go, be able to let go even when it like hurts and you don't want to, because at the end of the day it's beneficial to you.
You know, when they say that one saying, when you, even if you love someone, you gotta let them go, or something like that.
If you love someone, let them go.
If you love someone, love them enough to let them go.
That's the fact, to let them go, because you know what I'm saying.
And you know, sometimes let me school you out a little bit. Sometimes it don't even be a girl that you getting cheated on with. Sometimes it be the video game.
It's lack of attention. Like, it's you giving attention to something else that's not me.
Because some guys are staying with the game all day, and it's like, all right, like
for real,
I need attention too. Like
damn, all day.
Right. Then you go to sleep and you hear it cut on after you go to sleep. It's like, oh, you getting back on the game? Like, that's you about to get back on the game. You're not gonna lay in the bed with me. You just gonna get on the game. Like, but
listen, and that pisses me off. Like, after I have sex on some shit, after we, have sex, and you start playing the game, that pisses me off.
Yeah, like,
that shit really
that's the only type of attention I get. Come on now.
Right, like, that's it. That's all I'm good for.
You don't disrespect me like that.
Right, take me on a date.
Right, for real. What's up with this wine and dining?
Hold my hand. Kiss my feet a little bit.
Play
Play in my hair.
Play my hair. Like,
shit.
At that point, that's when you just walk out naked on some shit. Like, fuck this. I'm trying to steer your attention towards me. Like, twerk in the face.
Yo, could you imagine walking out in some bomb fire lingerie and he looks at you and turns back to the game?
Yo, I would be so hurt.
Yo.
Like,
I seen a TikTok of this one girl doing that challenge, whatever, like the towel dropping challenge.
Yeah.
She's like, look at how, like, me and my boyfriend, like, look at how, like, my boyfriend doesn't pay me any attention, basically, like, putting it out there. She's like, this is how bad it is. So she goes out, does the challenge. She's, I guess, beautiful, I'm assuming. And he was like, what? Like, she was like, look, like, I'm, like, she threw the towel on him. He's like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, he's on the game, mind you. He's like, put some clothes on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just being, like, rude. And I'm like, wow, like, that's so crazy.
That's crazy.
Right.
But no. I
Like,
feel like we should have talked about, like, what we felt, what the roots of cheating were, but...
Oh, can we do that? I'll start.
Okay.
So, in my personal experience of being cheated on, I feel like it stemmed from me and, at the time, we were having a lot of, like, issues already, like, a lot of bickering back and forth, like, constantly, like, fighting and stuff. And it got to a point where we just, like, we're stuck in a place where we knew we wanted to be together, but it was just so hard, it was just real hard. And so it started becoming so hard to the point where, like, that's the only feeling I ever got being around him. It was like anxiety, like oh my god, like we're always like it's so much tension.
It's hard to be with
tension.
him.
Yes, it's hard to be with him because I love this person, but it's like we fight so much and we have all this going on that it's so hard to be normal with you. Like there's too much like tension and turmoil between us. It's like to act normal. So it started becoming like that where we weren't like very affectionate anymore. We weren't very like, oh, I love you all the time. We weren't, started losing like those like lovey-dovey things about it. And so that's how it started being. And then it got to the point like it wasn't very affectionate at all. And all we were affectionate was with sex because we had great sex. And we knew each other for a long time. We were together for years. So like we understand each other. So that was one thing that like made us kind of still like hold on to each other. But emotionally, I don't feel like we were connected at the moment. And so for him, he ended up hanging out with somebody else, being with somebody who he not to like as much as each other, but it was somebody he should have been with. And when I found out about it,
I was gonna say, so you're saying like he felt like y'all vibe was off, so he cheated off of a fresh vibe, like something new.
Yes,
it was like a thrill.
It was literally like a
that,
thrill.
That little.
It felt like okay, this is like an opposite sex that a person
because you guys weren't there emotionally.
Yeah, so we weren't like when you're not there emotionally, we don't talk the same. We don't like. Yeah, he would call me like when he had an issue, obviously, because I'm like the first person you probably think of, but it's not the same. We're like, we talk, we actually talk, we understand each other, we're learning each other more. Because you always learn like your significant other more, you never know, because people change every day, And so I feel like we were really losing that, and so it got to the point where he ended up hanging out with someone to get that, like he felt like he couldn't be with me, a person of opposite sex that he wanted to be with, and not be able to talk to me without being an issue. Every time we talked, whether it was even like we were just talking about anything normal, we had all those feelings that it was just like we felt so much resentment towards each other. So it wasn't a good vibe. Like the vibe was off, or like everything was off. So he, like you said, he wanted to catch a fresh vibe. He wanted to feel happy being around a girl and like being able to talk to her, a pretty girl like that. You know what I'm saying? So he did what he did, and that was really hard for me because it was just like I don't know. It was just deeper than that for us, and I feel like you talk to me, like, what I'm saying? Don't go off and like try to find this somewhere else where it hurt me because I felt like my man couldn't confide in me to tell me how he felt. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell me the ugly truth. Tell me you don't feel the same way about me. Tell me
also another feeling that you get with it is like when you feel like things when you put your man on a certain pedestal and you find out that he's done something like this, you start thinking how could you I would have never thought like if a girl would have came to me like, oh, do you think your nigga cheat on you? I'd have been like never. He'd never. And then finding out that you actually did, it was like, yo,
it's kind of like a slap in the face. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and it also feels like, why couldn't you come to me? Like, what was so bad that you had to go to another female when you already had me?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Like what even made you feel comfortable enough to confide in her before
coming to me?
Like, you probably told her all our issues, and then that's how you end up fucking.
Yeah. Like I feel like it's not necessarily exactly him choosing her over you, but that's the feeling you get. It's like you're really choosing to do this instead of coming to me, trying to work on it with me, trying to talk to me. I'm in a relationship as serious as I was at that point in time. That was my partner. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't just my boyfriend. That wasn't just someone that I was fucking. It wasn't just like
that's your soul.
That's my partner. Like
your twin flame.
Like I love him so much, and so it was like very hurtful because I'm like, I can understand. The reason why I understood where he was coming from was because I had a few moments of temptation too. I never gave into them,
right?
But not everyone's like that, And sometimes it could have maybe I am like that, and I just don't know because it wasn't enough of a temptation to make me do that. But you never know, That's why I definitely come across it, and I'm not gonna lie. I thought like, should I like do this? But it's just I didn't. But you know what I'm saying? I understand.
I feel like some people don't do it because they take a second to think like, nah, because if this gets out, this person is gonna be extremely hurt. And I wouldn't want to feel that pain, so I'm not gonna give that pain to somebody else.
Right.
Most of the time, that's what it is.
But some people don't think like that. Like, and when it's somebody you feel like is your partner, like y'all one, and a situation like this happens, it might make you feel like, did you at least think about me before you did it? Like, did I come to mind? Like when you was getting undressed, or when you was undressing her, or when you was doing this for her? Like, did I pop into your head? Like, did you think like, damn?
Did you stop?
If I do this? Like, and my girl find out or my partner find out, like she's gonna be devastated. Like, do you think about those type of things? And then also, y'all don't pick the right females. A lot of females are petty.
They like that.
You'll piss them off and they'll blow you up, and then now you've ruined something good for something temporary and monumental.
And it's just more drama on you. Like, why would you continue to want the issue started with you, and you're adding more issues to the main issue.
Right. We already had
you're
issue,
putting more work
which
for no
drove you
reason.
to it, but now we have even more issues because you added issues going to somebody else and getting that release or that relief from that person.
It's just like, how do you expect me to like fully trust you like at that point?
True.
It's just like, damn, like, do you not realize how many knives you just stuck in me?
Like, for real.
Right, like I'm still trying to stitch up this first wound
Right.
right here, and I gotta take this knife
And
out,
that
this
was
knife,
big.
this knife, like.
That one was really big, and now I got all these other ones too.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it's just like I feel like a lot of people don't think before they act, and that's
Mind
what it
you,
is.
you know,
It's-
everybody, almost everybody is hurt by these type of things.
yes.
And even with that, they still don't take into consideration that another person will be hurt just like they would be hurt if they did this.
I feel like it comes from a moment of being selfish, honestly. You're just being selfish at that point because you know how, whatever, especially if you guys are real tight and real deep, you know how it's going to affect somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know, however deep your relationship is, you know that that's going to really fuck that person up and, like, make them, like, real hurt.
Especially if you really know the person
That's
and
right.
you know how they
You guys
deal with
really-
pain and
yes,
stuff,
like,
and how they analyze stuff. It's
If
really.
you have someone that has, like, heavy mental issues, that really has severe anxiety, a lot, like, really, like, deals with
Very-
depression,
yep.
crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That, like, I go through that personally, you don't, like, people don't understand that.
That can kill someone.
Literally, like, if you understand and you see how this person reacts to certain things, I don't know, just don't be selfish. Like, honestly, really, that's just what it is. It makes me upset to think about it because it's just like you're hurting someone that you claim to love, and I understand, like, when it comes from, like, you guys have been going through so much that you probably feel like, oh, I don't even care if I hurt them because you're feeling so angry. But, like, just be smart. Like, just people don't think. I feel like before they do, they definitely do not put themselves in that other person's shoes because if they did for a split second, they would
Not do
it.
Yeah.
And if they had that moment where they put themselves in your shoes, they simply just didn't care enough to not do it.
They clearly
that's
didn't
the
love
hard
you
truth.
as
Yeah.
much as they said they did.
Definitely. So it's like it's hard. Like this is why it's so, like, cheating is so, like, I feel like it's so bad because it turns into so many other things.
It's so much more
It's-
than
yeah.
just cheating.
It's
It's not
not
even
just
the
simply
cheating. It's not the
you-
cheating. Like
yeah.
you said, because you're like, the thought is like, okay, well, whatever.
It's the
now.
principle
Yeah,
of you
it's
disrespecting.
like
Yeah.
the initial feeling is like, all right, well, it was just sex, but it's the afterthoughts that come,
Right.
like, and especially if you know your person and you're like, oh, he slept with this girl. Well, did he do that moan that he does
Yes,
when
does
he
he do
first
this?
goes in,
Come
or
on,
like
Yo, I
when
think
he's
about
about
that
to nut, like did
all
he
the
make that sound effect, or did he do the little like whisper curse sounds that he does when it feels too good? Like, you think that's what causes the issue. Like, it's the thoughts that come with it, because it's like I can, okay, it's sex, like you're not doing it right now, it was like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, but it's what drags it out and what makes it worse is the image that you get with it. Like, it's like you start picturing like, oh, did this happen, did you do this? Especially if your partner is still like extra trying to be on you now or whatever.
Yes,
it's like
it's so
now you're
hard.
thinking like, well, did he kiss her like he just did me?
Yes,
Did
like,
he
don't
back
you-
her down like that? Like, did he hold her like how he just held me? Did he rub her like how he just rubbed me? Like, it's just, you start comparing what you have
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
to what he gave her, because
Because at the
really,
end of the day, like,
you don't, yeah, like you don't know
You
what you don't know what he gave her. The only people that know is him and her.
and her.
And you're just stuck there with like the ideas and the thoughts. So now you're comparing yourself and what you guys have to what they have, and sometimes it might not even be on the same level.
It's not comparable.
It might not even be
sometimes, like,
anything to that
in
person,
the
but to
same league,
you,
bruh.
yo.
Like, I'm telling you, it's a mind game. It's so hard. Like, the cheating, like you said, the cheating, I can get over the bitches. I can get over, like, what.
All right, you guys, that was our cue. Phone died.
Oh, wait,
So
wait.
if you enjoyed this conversation and you want to hear more, make sure that you like this video and comment below, and we will do a part 2. Until then.
Yeah.